More rain is in the forecast for Fort Lauderdale after the National Weather Service said 2 feet of rain fell in just a couple of hours. The city's airport was submerged and will remain closed until Friday morning. And getting all the water out is going to take time.
You have to have nature takes its course because we have nowhere to pump this water at. If we had the pumps available to us, we have pumps, of course, in our elevators and so forth, and our escalators, but we don't have the ability to pump the water because there's nowhere to go.
It is being called a 1-in-1,000-year weather event. Our Manuel Bojorquez is tracking the latest.
Tonight, a massive cleanup after unprecedented flooding. Rescuers had to use boats to access Fort Lauderdale's hardest-hit neighborhoods, bringing people and pets to safety after a night surrounded by floodwaters.
I'm going to go back and get your mommy and daddy, all right, bud?
We had a huge amount of volunteers coming in with their swan buggies and high water vehicles, which has been a huge help.
Some people waded through the water with boxes wrapped in plastic, trying to keep their belongings dry. Others described having to climb out of windows.
I couldn't open the door because the water was too much pressure on the door.
More rain fell in a 24-hour period than any other day in the city's history, nearly 26 inches. That's more than 40% of Fort Lauderdale's annual rainfall in just one day.
No city could have planned for this.
The result was flooded streets littered with abandoned cars. The water's weight is believed to have contributed to a roof collapse at this shopping center. No one was injured. And the main runway at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport remains mostly submerged today, forcing operations to shut down.
Nature wasn't kind to us, and that's just unfortunate. We have never had to deal with such an item.
More than 800 flights have been canceled and hundreds of passengers left stranded, like the Lagares family trying to get home to New Jersey from their Florida vacation. This was their terrifying ride to the airport yesterday.
We're thinking, oh my God, we're going to miss a flight. We're going to miss a flight because it took us a 24-minute ride. Now it's an hour and 45-minute ride.
Manuel Bojorquez joins me now. The pictures, Manny, are just unbelievable to watch. I saw you had an umbrella a moment ago. What's the weather like there now?
Yeah, it's coming down. We've been getting soaked for the better part of the last 2 hours. At first, heavy rain. Now it's lightened up a little bit, but this constant drizzle is doing nothing to help the situation behind us here. That back there in the background, well, that's the main runway for the airport here. And the water had started to subside during the day, but now that we're getting more rain, it's not doing so. So the airport had wanted to reopen tomorrow at 5 a.m. They now have pushed that back to 9 a.m. And that's an early assessment because even once the water subsides, they still have to get out there, clear any debris, and, of course, assess for any potential damage.
And what's being done for those who are displaced?
Well, the governor has declared a state of emergency for Broward County. The mayor of Fort Lauderdale did that as well, so that frees up resources to get help down here. We got the sense from hearing from officials today, though, that they're still very much in the rescue and assessment stage of this, not yet putting a dollar amount on the damage, but we do know that the American Red Cross is here to help many of those people who are displaced, a lot of them not being able to stay in their homes tonight because there's still water in them.
So we expect a disaster declaration?
That's right. That is something that is already in the works right now. Here at the airport, the biggest headache, of course, for passengers was trying to get around. Just to paint a picture for you, some people said they waited on the tarmac 5 hours yesterday while the rain was coming down before the pilots turned the planes back around. A woman was in tears trying to figure out how to get to her destination. But at the end of the day, what those disaster declarations are meant to do is try to get people, make them whole again, especially those people who are now displaced out of their homes and will have to deal with fixing some of that damage.
Certainly a mess for travelers and scary to see those pictures. Manuel Bojorquez, thanks so much for talking with us.